Abroad is a scam. Abroad is a scam. You probably heard this phrase before. Hello, how are you doing? Barnabas here. I hope you're doing well. I'm sure you've heard this phrase, abroad is a scam. And is abroad really a scam? This is what I want to address in this video today. And hopefully you will get something out of it. Is abroad or is going to the diaspora and working in a foreign land, living there a scam? Why do some people say abroad is a scam? Number one, is that the dream that is sold to many people out there is usually too perfect, all right, compared to the reality. It's too perfect. You know, they show you tall buildings, you think you're going to be living in the city. They show you, nice beaches. They tell you how easy it is to get jobs. They tell you there's lots of work. They tell you that you're paid, the minimum wage is so good, you're paid in dollars. And they showed so many good things, all right? But no one talks about the other side of the reality. No one tells you long hours shifts. No one tells you about, isolation and living in a foreign land without your family. No one shows you, their reality, the expensive life. No one tells you that you have to start from the bottom, okay? Whether you are a professional, sometimes it will need that you take jobs that you didn't even intend to do. No one talks about this, but they usually sell to you this notion that everything is perfect. So when you finally get an opportunity to move to the diaspora and you find that the reality is also a reality, then you think it's a scam. It's not. You just need to be realistic and know that apart from the nice tall buildings, very nice homes, being paid in dollars, availability and opportunities that are there, there's also the other side of life. The second reason why people say abroad is a scam is probably the odd jobs, okay, that you didn't expect to do. You travel and go to abroad and you're a professional. And no one tells you that you will start down there. No one tells you that before you get a good job or a professional job, then you might be forced to do cleaning. You might be forced to, do things like farm jobs, delivery. No one tells you that, no one prepares you that, you will be doing disability support work and things like that. No, nothing wrong with those kind of jobs, all right? But maybe as a professional, you didn't expect to do those kind of jobs, all right? If you didn't expect and then you move to the diaspora and you're forced to do those jobs for 1, 2, 3, 4 years, you may feel cheated, all right? You had this notion that when you move to the diaspora, then you just find, your perfect job, start straight away and earn this big money. But you go there and you're forced to do these odd jobs. You might think that moving to the diaspora is a scam. The third reason, and I think this is very often and very serious, is that the agents that take you there often don't tell you the reality, all right? They sell to you the good side of things. The agents, the social media people like myself, the people who take you to the diaspora, who sell to you the idea to go to the diaspora, who sell to you the dream or convince you and take you to the diaspora, never explain to you the entire truth, okay? They talk about good wages. They talk about, better opportunities and more opportunities of work. They promise you, they guarantee you jobs, and they talk about so many things, but they don't tell you about the high cost of living. They don't tell you about sometimes not being able to find jobs. Now, these agents, they exaggerate the opportunities. They tell you the opportunities are endless. They tell you that, it's so easy to get work. They will tell you that, once you land there, you just, you'll just find jobs. Like you'll just walk into the streets and you'll find jobs. They tell you so many things, but they don't tell you about the high cost of living. They don't tell you that sometimes you can be underpaid. They don't tell you about the long hours of work and things like that. So the agents, the social media people, the brokers, okay, those who sell to you the idea or those who help you, assist you to go to the diaspora, they never explain to you the entire truth. And why do they do that? It's because they want to sell, For you to go to the diaspora, they have to convince you that the opportunities are endless. They have to convince you that it's a perfect deal. All right, they can never tell you about the high cost of even moving. They can never tell you about the high cost of settling in the diaspora, because if they tell you that, you won't buy. You won't be able to be convinced to go to the diaspora. So they just tell you the good part. All right, and so they are part of the problem. So these people are the ones that making you feel that moving to the diaspora is a scam, because you have this high expectation because of what you've been told, and when you move there you find that things are different. All right, in Kenya we say vitu kwa ground ni tofauti. Okay, the reality on the ground is very, very different. Number 4 is the cost of living in the diaspora is very high. There are lots of bills. Oh, bills. You pay bills. It's very expensive. Housing is very expensive. You have to pay for electricity, you have to pay for gas sometimes, depending on where you live. You have to pay for water, you pay for everything. Internet, the bills keep coming. Bills keep coming. Insurance and these things, registration of your car, these things keep on coming. Bills keep coming. And so you have to keep working to keep up with these bills. All right? No one tells you most of these things in detail. All right, so when you get there and you work so hard, you get this money, but you can't see where the money goes because you pay a lot of bills. All right, and you finally feel that you're cheated. Okay, you can get and live in a very nice home, very nice house, but the bills keep coming. You are forever broke. You get this money hits your account like this, and within a matter of seconds, it's gone, because you pay lots of bills. All right, it's good to know that when you move to the diaspora, get ready, you will pay the bills. Also, not many people talk about the mental stress. All right, mental stress, because you're separated from your people. All right, coping with this kind of pressure when you're away from your people is very difficult, and so many people go through a lot of stress, loneliness and isolation. And it's good for us to talk about these things so that you have this mindset, you get yourself ready, that when you face this kind of problem, you know that this is what you're going to face. Okay, so this is why people think moving to the diaspora is a scam, because no one tells you about these things, and when you go there and you realize that this is the reality. And the last one, I think this is one of the biggest contributors to this, is the social media. When somebody reports something on social media, they usually skip the bad part. They give you the perfect view, the perfect pictures. All right, they take pictures of very new houses. They never tell you that even in the diaspora they are very old and abandoned houses, very unkept backyards, and in the community there are places that are dirty. No one reports these things. All right, they often show you things that are very nice, tall buildings, nice in the city. They show you very nicely built houses. They take pictures in their homes on the end that is well kept. All right, they show you new cars, new houses, nice beaches, clean and tidy. They show you how the minimum wages and being paid in dollars, but no one talks about the tough jobs that you have to do. No one talks about the long shifts. No one shows you about being tired in the shift and you can't cope. Not many people talk about rejection, being tired at places of work, long shifts, struggle with loneliness and things like that. Not many people in the social media wants to show you that part of life. So when you finally find that this is what happens, you think moving to the diaspora is a scam. Is moving to the diaspora a scam? This is a big question. And my answer personally is no. Why? Because when you're still at home, when you're still in your country, you pray, you're looking for opportunities, you can't find them. All right, and you just want to move. You pray all the time, God, give me, open a way, let me just move, let me just travel. And then you finally get this opportunity, and yes, it might be a struggle to settle, but finally you will get jobs. Finally you will get these opportunities. Finally, at least you will get to work long hours, something that you didn't find back at home. There are people who have looked for jobs for 10 years, until looking for a job becomes their full-time job. There are people who have looked for work for so long until it becomes their norm. Looking for work becomes like their full-time job. But when you move to the diaspora, if you want to work, if you want to do anything, if you want to do any kind of job, then you will get the opportunities and you will work long hours. All right. It might be tiring, but at least there are opportunities. All right. It might be very, very tiring, but at least there are opportunities. So you can't come later on and say it's a scam. This is what you were looking for. Were you not looking for opportunities to work? And this is it. You find an opportunity to work finally, and then you want to come and say, oh, moving to the diaspora is a scam. Some people say, oh, I get this money, but there is no time to even enjoy the money. Huh? Now you have the money, you don't have time to enjoy it. And that's the reason why moving to the diaspora is a scam. While you're back at home, you didn't have money. You didn't have an opportunity to work. And now when you come to the diaspora and you work long hours, and you now say, oh, I get the money, but there is no time to enjoy it. Let's be realistic. In everything that you do, you have to pay a price. All right? There is an opportunity cost that you have to pay. There is an opportunity cost for everything. You can't, be looking for work, and then when you're given work to do for long hours, now you say, it's too much work. Oh, I don't have time to enjoy it. I'd rather not have time to enjoy it, but at least I have an opportunities. At least there is a hope that I can be able to strategically work towards reducing my time and getting some passive income, using your income that you have now, and be able to work towards reducing the hours that you work. At least there is hope. But when you're back at home and you can't even find work, you can't even, find an opportunity to work, come on. It's not a scam. It's a way you approach these things. Let's be realistic that yes, it might be difficult to settle in the diaspora. It might have challenges, but at least you have opportunities to work. At least you have an opportunity to earn some income. All right? What you couldn't be able to do back at home. This reminds me of a people in the Bible, the Israelites. When they were in Egypt, they cried. They cried out to God that they were suffering. And they cried out, and God delivered them from the hands of Pharaoh through Moses. So when God delivered them and moved them from Egypt, and they moved out of this slavery, when they were on the way, they started crying to Moses again and said, we would rather be in Egypt. We would have been, better in Egypt. We had cucumbers, we had watermelon and all that. Things that they did not enjoy back then, now they think that they would enjoy because they have just faced, a few challenges on their way to Canaan. It's the same thing, all right? While you're still working your way to a better life, and you're looking back and you think that was a better life, I don't think it's a good thing. It just shows us that we are not people who are grateful. Let's be grateful. Let's be grateful. The opportunities that you didn't find, the opportunities that you didn't have, and now you have, you should be thankful. You should be grateful and tell God, God, I'm grateful. At least I have work to do. Be grateful to God. Be thankful to God and say, God, at least I have work to do. Although it's tiring and it's long hours, at least I have some money. All right? All right? And ask God to help you to strategize, to be able to use the funds that you're earning to reduce some work, to invest and do all this. Be patient and be patient. Let's be grateful. Moving to the diaspora is not a scam. Let's just be realistic that sometimes we think the dream is so perfect, and when we get there, it takes us time to realize that there is the other side of life. All right? But even with that, let's be grateful. Let's be patient. Let's work towards, a better life, but be grateful that at least you are not there where there was no opportunities to earn some money. And when you're strategic enough and you plan yourself well and you're patient, then you can work towards a better life. You can work towards a better career. You can work towards so many things, all right, that you are not able to do. Okay? So moving to the diaspora, moving to abroad is not a scam. So let's be realistic. Let's be grateful. All right? Let's be grateful. Let's work towards making our lives better. in terms of career, in terms of our families, in terms of our finances. All right, but never, 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 never forget to be grateful. Be grateful to God. All right, that's all I had for you today. Please let me know, is it true what I've said? What's your thought about this? Is moving to the diaspora a scam, or it's just us that is a problem? All right, that's all I had for you today. Till next time, my name is Barnabas. Oh, before I go, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, please follow us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and other social media platforms. Till next time, my name is Barnabas, the son of encouragement. Bye-bye, and God bless you.